I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that there's a Chinese saying, like a curse. It goes something like this: May you live in interesting times. My son Henry was certainly born in interesting times, but I feel blessed to have him. He was born at the beginning of a global pandemic, which will most certainly have a big impact on his life. This pandemic, of course, was gifted to us by China. Thanks, China. Thanks a lot. And if China should overtake us here in the West, it will be in large part because of this virus and because of these interesting times we're living in. The other day I was taking pictures of my son as he was playing with two identical toy school buses. I'm not sure where we got the buses, but they're the kind of vehicle toy where you pull it back and then let it go and it will ride for a little while. And I had my son playing on this little bridge that I built. And afterwards, I decided to mess around with my camera to try to get some pictures of this little, very lifelike, realistic looking bus. And when I flipped the bus over, I looked, as I sometimes do, at toys to see where it was made. And I saw that it was made on April 1st, 2018, in Shenzhen, China. Strangely, I think I remember April 1st, 2018. I think it was actually Easter Sunday, and I thought it was kind of strange that Easter Sunday would fall on April Fool's Day. But I suppose I could be wrong. I just have a thing for remembering dates. It's kind of awkward. I'm glad that my boy was enjoying playing with this bus, but I just kind of had a sad feeling because I think it's very possible that in his lifetime, and certainly my expected lifetime, China, where this little children's toy was made, will very likely become the ascendant power in the world. And anyone following the news right now is probably not very thrilled with that prospect. The Chinese people are great, but the Chinese Communist Party is just absolutely awful. I shudder to think what will happen if they ever gain dominance in the world. Nevertheless, I always think it's kind of interesting that for every toy or consumer product that we enjoy here in the West, there was somebody or some people overseas, usually in East Asia and often in China, who made it so that we could use it or enjoy it or cast it away into the trash, I suppose. And the people that made these school buses in Shenzhen, which is a city of, I guess, 18 million people, maybe 30 or 40 years ago, they would have been peasants. But because China has become our factory, the place where things are made that maybe used to be made in our hemisphere or in our own country, these people now have an opportunity that wasn't available to them before. And I suppose that's a good thing. But I still worry a lot about the world that this child will grow up in if and when China takes over. I will never point a finger at China for its CO2 emissions. I live in the United States. I drive a car. I use electric power that's produced by fossil fuels. I am in no position to lecture them. I suppose I'm just more worried because they are a truly authoritarian country that is run by a psychopathic madman, Xi Jinping. I think that this man is one of the worst dictators the world has seen in the last 50 years. The Chinese people are a tough and a resilient people, but they live under a government that has very little regard for human life, for human rights, and for the basic ideals of expression as we understand them in the West. It's a country that surveils its citizens and keeps scores on them. And I'm worried that if we can't beat them, we'll be just like them. And that's the world that my son will grow up in. A world where people are tracked and surveilled and treated much the way that the Chinese citizen is treated. But still, a child's mind is filled with imagination and wonderment at every moment that he experiences. And so as my boy was playing with his school buses, I was kind of happy that he didn't have to think about these things. Not now. Not in that moment. Maybe someday down the road. But in this time, I just want to let him enjoy that bus. And thank you for letting me share this photo and this story with you. God bless you.